My name is Michael Kish. I'm currently 72. I'm a master's sprinter at the M70 level. Past summer, I ran in Finland and set the age 70 bracket world record at the 100 meters at 12:66, though it's not official due to the wind. And I also am currently at second place in the 200 meters at 26:21.
Guns off. We are off. Here we go. Out of in the middle of the track, rolling right now. Looks like it might be Michael Kish. Mr. Kish. Short ACs, Michael Kish, 13:47, so even faster than our 65-year-old age division.
I ran high school track at Essex Catholic High School in Newark, New Jersey back in late 60s. And I ran basically the 100 and the 220, which is something that doesn't exist anymore, which is 220 yards. After high school, I didn't run at all at Jersey City State, which I graduated from. I ran in all the other sports I competed in: softball, basketball, and I also played ice hockey all these years. And then one day I saw a advertisement at a 5K meet in Bloomfield, which I was living at the time, and I saw an advertisement for the Senior Olympics in Woodbridge around 2011 and 2012. Back then I was basically 59, 60, and I had no clue what I was going to do. Do I run in flats? Do I run in spikes? Because I would see signs at some of the tracks that would say no spikes allowed. And also when I entered, do I enter the 100, 200, or both? So I chose the worst of the two races to enter, the 200 instead of the 100. I didn't start in a regular in starting blocks or anything like that. I just started in a regular 2-point stance, and when the gun went off, I just took off. And to this day, I can remember getting halfway around, and all of a sudden, all my legs, everything started to tighten up, and I thought I was going to have to stop. And I started to lose control of my hips, and I finished, and I think my time was right around 30 seconds. So that was basically my reinitiation back into track. I had no clue what I was doing at all. And you'll also have to know, I had no idea USATF Masters existed at that time. So I entered the Senior Olympics again the next year. And this year I entered the 100 and the 200, and I had spikes on. I used the starting blocks, but which were very uncomfortable for me, the starting blocks. But I remember I won the 100 in my age group for New Jersey. And I also won the 200. So that was encouraging for me. I just seemed to be able to move up into the Masters rankings with my times over the years, and I became more competitive. But I kept searching online for more information, not just out on the track, but in the gym. What were certain exercises that would help me become stronger, that I could transfer out onto the track? And I wasn't looking to lift extremely heavy weights. I was just looking for something that would complement my sprinting and running. And that was just off the top of my head. I guess the biggest meet for me, or most important for me, was when I decided to enter the National Senior Olympics. I guess I was 65 at the time. I turned 65, and it was out in Minnesota. And this was my really first initiation into a huge track meet at the national level. I ended up going out, and I ran in the 100, went through all the preliminaries out there, and I came in third at the nationals. And I also had the 200 to do. And ran the 200 preliminaries, and I had the second fastest time.
Go, Michael! Go, 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 go!
Went to the finals, started off, got about a quarter of the way around the track, pulled a muscle, had to stop. And as the years went on in the 65 group, I was moving up in the rankings. I was, went from 9th to 5th, and then all of a sudden I see myself up there competitive 2nd, 3rd, and at times 1st in the rankings with Masters rankings. Less is more. Do less and you're going to do more at practice. And I couldn't understand that at first. I thought you had to do more at practice to be better at a meet. And so I took that philosophy and I started to limit some of my runs in the sense that, well, maybe I don't need to run 500s, maybe I only need to run a couple hundreds. And I said, there's got to be something to this. And again, less is more. And I'm saying, how do you do 340s and it's going to translate into faster hundreds? I also included something else that I saw the Jamaican team do, which I wasn't aware of. But a lot of the track people in high school and college are aware of this, but I wasn't. And they used pulling the sled. I said, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. So I started to incorporate that into my runs at the gym. But now here at Parisi, I have almost 40 meters if I want to use, and I think that's helping me out quite a bit. Last year started 2022, and I started to see that a lot of my hard work was starting to pay off at different meets. At the New York, New Jersey meet, just prior to the World Championships in Finland, I ran a 26:21 in the 200. And that ended up being the second fastest time, all time in the 200. From the World Championships in this past summer in Finland, and I just run the events as best as I can. Go through the 100. My times all of a sudden are coming down.
6 men on the go, and Michael Kish from USA. Look at him. He jumps out of the curve 10 meters ahead of everybody else. This is Michael Kish. And then Adrian Essex, Great Britain, is following Michael Kish.
So when we got up to the line and we ran, gun went off, I just took off. I just didn't feel anything. I just ran as best as I can. I didn't feel tense. Felt very relaxed.
Excellent start, lane 3, Michael Kish. And look at him. He is 5 meters ahead of the others. Michael Kish, and then Christopher Monk. And lane 6, Karl Dorschner, Germany. 12:66.
And I glanced over and I heard the announcement that I ran a 12:66. And it was a new world record. And I said, "Nah, that can't be me. There's no way that could happen." I just run, and I see the time, and that's all I focus on. The prior world record in the 100 meter before that race is a 12:77. That's the official time. But on Masters ranking, I'm ranked number 1. Very often I will see people in their 50s, 60s, all the way up, even older than me. And I will see them, either some of them are at the track or just people just walking around. And I'm saying to myself, a lot of these people are a little bit out of shape, a lot of them. And I think part of that might be because of the fact that they're gotten into their minds that exercise is too difficult and it's for young people, it's not for older people. I believe that our society emphasizes that you're a senior or you're approaching senior age. It's time to slow down, not a time to be more physically active. I see research emphasizing how important it is for the older you get to be more physically active by lifting weights, running, and you don't have to run. You can swim, you can cycle, you can do any activity. You can race walk or just walk. The idea of stress was something that I heard a little bit about during the pandemic from researching why people are getting sick and how the body is reacting to the virus and whatnot. And I kind of focused on a couple people that, some research scientists that talked about stress and the body's adaptation to stress. If the body's not used to stress, and all of a sudden you're putting the body in a stressful situation, it doesn't know how to react and it overreacts. I'm kind of simplifying that. And I kind of understand that because if you're in track and field or any sport, at practice, you're constantly putting your body under stress by doing all this run-outs, weightlifting and whatnot, because now when you're at a track meet, you're putting that body under 100% stress at that particular meet or that particular run. And how does the body react to that? If it hasn't been stressed enough to know how to react, it's not going to do well. I think it's really important for our society to start to emphasize exercise. They don't have to do what I do or some other people who are very competitive at this do. But you go out and go to the gym, go to the pool and swim, walk, race walk, whatever, walk quickly, run. And if you're competitive, you might want to see, what can I do? Can I do better? Enter meet. I try to encourage people that I may see to try this and see what they can do, to challenge themselves. I think that's very, very important for our society. It's something that I believe would help with our well-being and longevity. Part of my training over the years, I've learned to improve my eating habits, my research into nutrients, and as well as all the exercising in the gym and whatnot. And my body has also adapted as well, but I became aware of when I was running, I would come home and maybe after practice I'd have a beer. And as time went on, that wasn't setting so well with me. And I was discussing this with my wife at one time. I said, you know, we could go out and have a beer, or the two of us could finish off a bottle of wine back when my early 60s. And I said, I can't do that anymore. My body's telling me it wants more water. And all of a sudden I was just drinking more water, and we sat down and discussed this, and we just decided one day, we're not drinking anymore. And we just decided we're not going to do it. And so I guess for the past 8 or 9 years or so, it's rare that I've had a bottle of beer or half a beer. Our eating habits have also changed. I pretty much have eliminated a lot of the sugar in my diet. That means limiting my potatoes, limiting the starches, including more salads. I rarely eat any beef. I'm a poultry, chicken, turkey, fish guy. More vegetables, but I also include a lot of supplements for me. I do take protein supplement, and I feel that because I'm so physically active, my body needs to be nourished a lot more than if I just sat at the computer all day and just typed on the computer during the day. So I do have I do my research when it comes to any supplements that I take. I will not take anything that's going to be detrimental to me in terms of running on the track, because we do get tested, which is kind of interesting. If you're from 50 on up, you just go out and give yourself the opportunity to improve your physical health. It can be done. Don't say that it can't be done. I mean, I may be unique. My genes help me. My attitude helps me. My philosophy helps me with what I do. But I think it's important to just try and do something, whatever it is. Some people like to swim. Some people like to cycle. If you just want to walk, just walk. Improve your eating. Pizza's out. Limit your pasta. Pasta's got to be out. It just turns to sugar, which is just going to cause your body to become inflamed, and you just need to limit that. And you just slowly wean yourself off of that. That's what I did. And you just don't give up. Just have a positive attitude. And I'd much rather have a pulled muscle from walking, swimming, running, lifting weights, than being told, by the way, you got an issue, you got diabetes, or you have some other issue that you got to deal with. I can recover from a pulled muscle, even though it may take months. But the other issues take years, or they may never. I know there's always an end, but I want to stretch it out as healthy as I can, as long as I can. And we're living in a time now that we can do this with the research that's out there. And I thank those scientists and those researchers for going out and doing that, because that helps us in the long run.